Wep, I got something for you.
All right. Hit me with it.
I'm not going to do it, but our special guest is. Tell him.
Well, Brett screwed Brett. AEW screwed Brett. And Goldberg got screwed by AEW too. Most importantly, you're I'm the legend of Lord Dan Gable.
You suck, Andre Joel. You suck. Fabulous Moolah. You suck. Jim Robbins. You suck.
Skinny bastard.
You suck.
Hulk Hogan.
You suck.
His puppet, Jimmy Hart,
You suck.
son of a bitch! Break your rag! Hot with a beer bottle!
Fuck your ass.
You don't like it? Break your rag! You're the man!
Fuck your ass.
I'm the monster! Break your...
And with that, Sheik, any response?
Fuck your ass! Make you humble!
There you go. And I'm the jabroni in between all of this. Welcome to Legend of Wrestling. That's my good friend Jason Schuster joining us for this episode of episode 5. Are we on now? This is episode 5.
This is episode 5.
Episode.
Welcome, Jason.
Welcome, Jason. That's Weapon on my left. Jason's joining us via the web. My Persian accent kicked in. I'm your host, Pej, the Maniac. We all just took in Full Gear, and we're here to talk about it. Jason, an amazing comic here in LA. He's going to be on Jimmy Kimmel on December 10th, and so don't miss that, Jimmy Kimmel live. So I'm excited for that, man. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in your comedy life.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, got Jimmy Kimmel coming up on the 10th, like you said, the Sunday show right on the Strip, and I'll be doing a guest spot with Heather Pasternak is headlining. Janelle Draper's on the show. Mary Upchurch got some great comics on that lineup, so I'm super excited for that. Got some great gigs coming up in 2024, man, and just doing my thing, you know?
I love it. I love it. Are you leaving AEW, MJF?
yeah. And if you are, and if you have a little break, stop at one of my shows, man. You know, I'd love to meet you sometime.
Absolutely. You guys get the same culture discount. Yeah.
Yeah. We're part of the tribe, man. It's all good. So.
I love it.
It was interesting you brought that up too, because the next I guess the next event that they have is going to be in Long Island on the 30th
of November or December.
December.
Oh shit. Okay.
For the tournament, the round robin tournament that they're holding.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy. 2024, big things coming for you, obviously, in your comedy life, in your career. Also, wrestling's gonna be ramping up. Did any of you, before we get into the Full Gear breakdown, did any of you understand a word that Will Ospreay said?
Hey, bruv.
Yeah.
Bruv.
Oh, I'm not here, but I'm here, bruv. I will not be here, but I have other things.
Hit me out.
Yeah, hit me out. It was like, I was just like,
hit me out, bruv.
Yeah, hit me out, bruv. Yeah, I'm like, okay, got it, bro. Like, what are you signing if you're not actually joining? But anyway, I get it. he's still, yeah.
It was crazy to me because, like, you know, we all expected something a little bit different. Not saying taking anything away from Will Ospreay. The guy's an amazing athlete and an incredible wrestler, but he's been in AEW. Like
I know.
We've seen him, and like to me, it's such a Tony Khan announcement. Like hyping something up so big, and then we all get excited. We're thinking, and it's just never anything close to what we think it's going to be. And it's just another one of those things for me personally. So.
No, yeah. Okay. So we're gonna let's start there. You teased it with the Vince impression, and AEW screwing Goldberg. So you told me offline that you were expecting Goldberg to show up at Full Gear. So that's apparently a rumor, and but it didn't happen, obviously. But do we think Goldberg is coming up to AEW, or is he finishing out his final match, or are they calling it his final tour, retirement tour? Is that happening in WWE? Is it happening in AEW? Or is it in your favorite wrestling promotion, TNA? TNA, which is still not TNA.
Impact Graveyard Wrestling.
That's where the TNA treasure box was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's TNA all over again because now they suddenly became TNA Wrestling, Adam.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so we did a whole episode where I was. So it's funny because they're kind of like Will Ospreay. They kind of shot their shot early.
Hold on, bruv.
Hold on, bruv.
You can't call us TNA for 2 months.
Yeah, I'm not AEW quite yet. I'm not TNA quite yet. But anyway, yeah. So, do you still think he's coming to AEW despite the fact that he didn't show up last night?
Yeah, all these guys are coming to all elderly wrestling, man. It's definitely here. Like it is WCW 2.0. TK's got an enormous bank account, and he can spend frivolously as much as he wants. All of Dad's money is going out to all these wrestlers. It's like Ted Turner all over again, man. And that's just what's happening. And AEW feels they need that kind of geriatric, old school wrestler to come in to have the star power. And there's no age limit. Ric Flair,
Dude, yeah, exactly. Woo!
We already saw the example of him clearing, being able to take bumps tonight. I mean, last night.
Yeah, last night. Yeah, this at the time of this episode's recording, it is
after,
November 19th.
Yeah.
A day after Full Gear was aired, but yeah, that it doesn't make any sense. I get what you're saying. I don't know if it's WCW 2.0 necessarily, because I feel like Tony Khan he actually cares about the product versus Ted Turner didn't. Ted Turner didn't know anything about wrestling. He just wanted to be in the wrestling business.
That wrestling show.
Yeah. That wrestling. I mean, look, TK is the biggest mark out of anybody in the business, besides Vince McMahon himself. You know what I mean? So yeah. I agree on that aspect. Impact tried it. Back in the day when they tried to go head to head with WWE on Monday nights, where they brought in Hogan and Nash and all these guys, that flopped, man. That didn't work. And we want to see new talent coming in. We want to see, and it's great that AEW's got this roster, but there's so much talent in there, and they don't have. To me, it's just like they don't use people properly. The storylines die out. There's not enough creative process behind it because they don't have writers like WWE has in the way they do it. It's just a different type of style.
Yeah.
And so they need to bring in these guys to try to keep the momentum going when it starts to feel stale. And that's why I think there's going to be more Goldbergs of the world coming, Dolph Ziggler. And that's why I think you continue to see guys like Edge and Ric Flair, coming in.
Yeah. The rated R superstar. They don't call him Edge now, which is funny. It's Adam Copeland. What I think it was last pay-per-view where MJF called him Edge, and Tony Khan was like freaking out. he was just like, and MJF was like, "Calm down, Tony. It's fine. I'll pay the fine."
I like the Pebbles comment. Ricky Starks like, "Oh, that really set me over the edge."
Oh yeah. That was so. That was when Adam just came back. Yeah,
the Pebble.
The Pebble.
Yeah. I mean, but the funny thing is that they'll bring back these guys. They'll bring these guys to AEW, and they'll use their same entrance music that they had in WWE. So they'll just, it's almost just like nothing really changes. But it's still weird to see Edge as Adam Copeland. I just can't call him the rated R superstar Adam Copeland.
I know. Well, it's because I think he carried that name for what, like almost 30 years.
Yeah, it wasn't so used to it.
It's so used to it. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, we'll see where it goes. I feel like the Will Ospreay's bringing him in, like that kind of balances it out a little bit for AEW. So like they're not just bringing in like nursery home wrestlers, but I hope. And we talked about on our last episode, we talked about this, that we hope that they don't put Rick in the ring again. Rick does not need to be in the ring. He can be a manager. He can even be some sort of like. I don't think they'll do GMs on AEW.
Well, he's definitely already doing the managerial thing kind of right now by tailing Sting.
Yeah. So I think he's.
And I think the bumps clearance was for him to be able to take shots like he did on the pay-per-view, like little bumps like falling on the floor. And
Yeah. I know, but it was just hard to watch.
It's so hard
It's
to
also
watch.
hard to
He
watch.
did
It's
not
also
take
hard to
that
watch
bump.
Ric Flair managing Sting. Like
I know, right?
That's ridiculous, dude. Like it's 65-year-old, whatever, Sting being managed by probably 70-something-year-old Ric Flair, and it's cool that he's out there every single night or whatever he's doing this whole run with him. But when does Sting need a manager? Be mind anybody that's Ric Flair. You know what I mean? So
I know. I just hope Rick doesn't need money again. Because that's why he joined TNA back in the day.
No, I don't think he needs money. I think he needed to sustain his sponsorship because they have an exclusivity deal with his Woo energy drink for the next 2 years.
That's right.
So for them to continue advertising it on a show like TNA, I think he's set with the money from that deal.
Yeah.
It's just that part of that requires him to make appearances. So
That's fair.
I just hope, like you said, he doesn't end up doing this angle where later on he's going to go, I didn't come here to watch you retire, Sting. I want one more match.
Oh, God.
Woo!
yeah, you know it's gonna happen. Woo! Yeah.
Yeah. The Jay Lethal was his. The Shawn Michaels 08 should have been his final match. But anyway, that's a whole other podcast.
We just saw what happened there that last.
Yeah, how many retirements can one man have? That's yeah. All right, cool. So let's get into this because it was a long pay-per-view with amazing matches. I kind of want to go around the room or around the Zoom and see what everybody's favorite match was from the night. I have mine, but I'm eager to hear what you guys think. Which match either stole the show for you guys or was just epic or on the standard of like matches of all time you thought it left the pay-per-view wanting more. I don't know, whoever wants to start. I have mine. I don't know if you guys have yours, but
Yeah, I do for sure.
okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead.
The Texas Death Match to me stole the show, hands down. It's not for everybody, like that style, but the way those two guys were able to tell that story in that ring that last night was incredible. I mean, incredible storytelling. The spots were incredible. You can get a little bit queasy watching something like that, even though they do it how they do it. But I felt the pay-per-view overall was a little bit lackluster, and that match stole the show and carried that momentum and brought me back. And that match also put Swerve Strickland on the map in AEW. That guy's a future champion, in my opinion. And Adam and Hangman Page didn't need that win. That Swerve needed that win more so, and I think they both came out on top.
What do you think?
I enjoyed the Texas death match myself, but I also have to give a shout out to the match that Moxley and Orange Cassidy had. Okay. I thought that was also an excellent match.
Yeah. No, they were. So the more rugged matches, I think, that's what separates AEW from WWE to me, is that they can do that, or they're not PG. They're not billing themselves as PG, so they're able to go hardcore, and do that. Getting gigged and all that. But for sure, Texas Deathmatch was my favorite. I think the there was even comedy in that match. If you guys paid attention, right? With Nana. He's still in the middle of these guys. Yeah, with these guys bleeding profusely. Nana's doing his and then
he's doing whatever he's doing with the hands.
Yeah. To me, that was, but it was well placed. It wasn't it didn't feel forced, So I enjoyed it from obviously in ring, amazing. Both Swerve and Adam Page are amazing professional wrestlers. Despite what my favorite wrestler CM Punk thinks of Adam Page. I think
Yeah.
I think Adam Page is he's earning his stripes. Let's just say that.
He has, man. He is for sure.
He's great, yeah. But then the psychology of it, I think the psychology of it and the build up. I thought that had the best build up too. Like that program with Swerve going into his house and all that. Like I like the going into the house angle that's been used before, obviously, but like when it's done right and the right characters are doing it, it can. Like my last favorite going into another wrestler's house was when Joe did it with in WWE when Samoa Joe and dude, why is his name escaping me? AJ Styles. It was.
I remember the Bray Wyatt one with Randy Orton.
That was also. Yeah. So it's a great angle, and then obviously going all the way back to when Austin had a gun.
But that's those old school storylines, and they work. And if it's not broken, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So it's good that they stuck with that. I mean, and yeah, as opposed to like where we saw the MJF situation where he came back on an ambulance, which is. Like Attitude Era style.
Oh gosh, yeah. That's true. It was, I mean, yeah. So if for people who watched the pay-per-view at 0 hour, like I like that they didn't waste 0 hour, like the first hour, which just introduces all the matches. I thought they started the pay-per-view, like they started it on that, and with the match that they had on that 0 hour, wasn't it what was it? It was
It was Jay Lethal. And
Jay Lethal or Jay White? It was Jay Lethal. Yeah, Jay Lethal.
And it was Kingston.
Yeah, it was Kingston and Jay Lethal. There was so now we're kind of going through the card.
It's already a title match.
Yes.
Granted, it's the ROH, but ROH is still
100%
respectable. So.
And it's got to be said. Yeah, and it's got to be said. ROH. I think it was this week one of the shows after the show went off the air. Ronda Rousey is in ROH. So that is. What do you think of that? Let's just start with that real quick.
I don't know how. I mean, I have such mixed feelings about that because, like, she could have easily been the signing that was Will Ospreay in some regards, but she was there. There she is, just coming out of that WWE contract, saying she's not even going to wrestle, and then she shows up on Rampage, I believe.
Yes.
After the show, on ROH segment, is what it seemed to be. But maybe that's cool, but maybe that will go in her favor because she definitely, I think, was a bit of a letdown in WWE to the fans of what they expected from her. So maybe it's something that it's a little bit of a fall from grace to me for Ronda Rousey to show up in that regard. But maybe that's what she needs at this point and didn't make a huge deal out of it. Or maybe they're going to save that segment for something else. But the way the internet is, you can't do something like that and hide it because it's gonna leak into seconds.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Did they establish that it's an actual signing and not a one-off?
I mean, I'm assuming it's a signing because to do a one-off like that, it would have been a waste of a one-off because it feels like they didn't even advertise it.
They're not even, so they're not even talking about it. There wasn't even mention about it. It's the weirdest thing.
It is.
Right.
Is it maybe because it's ROH branded?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So,
but ROH is so intertwined with the AEW storylines, even
I know.
Currently, so it's a weird thing.
I agree. I mean, yeah. So we'll see what comes of that. But obviously, no Ronda at Full Gear. We didn't see her there. But so yeah, the 0 hour starts. And we go into this Eddie Kingston versus Jay Lethal. And what do we think of this match?
Jay Lethal and his entourage?
Yeah.
How many people were in that entourage?
We got Jeff Jarrett. We got Karen Jarrett, formerly Kurt. we got Sanjay Dutt. We got Satnam Singh, as you said. We got I think that's it. Yeah, that was.
Unless you count the guy that runs ROH right now, kayfabe. What's his name again? His Hathaway?
Oh, yeah.
He might as well have been another member of the entourage because all he did the whole time was talk up about how he hates Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
You're also forgetting about Jeff Jarrett's guitar. So that's also
Jeff Jarrett's guitar. Actually, you're right. That's right.
But that helped him.
Yeah.
That helped him.
Yeah.
It ended up being a part of Eddie Kingston's repertoire.
It's actually a guitar and a nugget is what if we want to be really
Slap nuts.
slap nuts and a guitar. Yeah.
yeah. No, I love Eddie Kingston, man. He's great. He's always been like so fun to watch and no bullshit attitude. And I think that's what he brings to the table. He's real. He can connect with the fans, kind of like the everyday guy, man. You know, and so and he brings that strong style kind of attitude to the ring, and he's the best, man.
I agree. I think he brings that alternative feel to wrestling that we don't see much. Cool. So he took the match, right? And then he announced later about putting up both of his titles for the tournament. And that was interesting. So we'll get into that. Next we had Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio Castagnoli versus the House of Black's Buddy Matthews. This was a good match, I thought, for it not being on the main card. I thought it was. I mean, both of these guys are superb talents. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Let's start with you.
A good match. Claudio Castagnoli is like one of the most underrated wrestlers in all of wrestling. He deserves so much more in WWE than what he got. I'm glad that he's getting the opportunities he's getting in AEW, and he always delivers. You know, when you put him in the ring with anybody, he's going to make him look good, and that was a solid match. You know, a great match for the what's it called? What do they call it? Before the show started.
Oh, the Blackpool Combat.
No, the 0 hour. Yeah.
0 hour. The
0 hour. Yeah.
Kickoff show.
Yeah. Kickoff.
Mixing brands.
Well, there was actually people on that show. Eddie Kingston himself said, "What is this? The kickoff show?" So it's like,
I know.
I love that. I love Kingston for that because he can do that. And
Kingston is what the Brooklyn Brawler would have been if they didn't make him a jobber.
It's true.
It's true, man.
And I think you're right about formerly known Cesaro. Claudio didn't get the push he deserved in WWE. He did get one WWE match, like WWE title match, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he face up against Brock at one point? But that's a whole other story. But anyway, it was a good match. And Buddy Matthews, man, he's great.
Another guy that didn't get a proper push in WWE.
Well, yeah, he was trying to push with Ray's daughter, and then he just left.
That's all right. That's all right. You know, he's getting married to Rhea Ripley. I think he's. I don't.
That's
Bobby's real pop.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody feels sorry for Buddy Matthews. I think he's doing just fine. So
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Get him on the show and find out if Bobby is really always on top.
That's
that's right.
That's great. Cool. And then we go into the World Tag Team Championship match, and I think this is officially the start of the show. Oh, yeah, that was the start of the official pay-per-view. MJF. Oh no, this was the last match of the 0 hour.
That was still part of 0 hour.
This was the last match. Yeah, MJF and Samoa Joe, which is an interesting duo there because Samoa is going after the AEW Championship as well, versus the Guns. Austin and Colton. What do we think of the Guns? Do we like them? Do we not like them? I mean, not as characters, but as wrestlers.
They do their job as heels, and they're really annoying. And I think that is what good heels do: is they make the crowd not like them, and they do a good job at it. And we can say, oh, they got the opportunity handed to them because they're Billy Gunn's kids.
Yeah.
But they're making the most of it, man. And so I gotta give them credit there. But they are extremely annoying, but that's what we do as fans. Is we want to buy into the heels and we want to buy into the faces, and they do a job of being
right.
real. So.
Yeah. No.
That's a fair. I think they're decent. They're decent wrestlers. They're by no means I don't think they deserve to be champions anytime soon. But they're definitely on their way. But then again,
they did win the tag team titles.
They did win the tag team titles, but I'm saying to get that climb to even for individual runs, I feel like it's they're maybe a year or two away from that. But
They're like miniature versions of their dad.
There they are. They're for sure. Yeah. He looks just like one of them. I think it's Austin. He looks just like Billy. Like he literally looks like a photocopy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's I don't want to say it's a mini me because he's huge dude, but it's a clone. In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah. So then in this match is when MJF gets jumped and gets hurt. They said it was his quad. Later they said it was his knee. So, but he gets rushed out, very WWE style. They rushed him out, and as he's on the cart going into the ambulance, he screams, and Adam Cole is there to support him.
Mind you, he's the one responsible for the interference that won them the match.
Right. This is kind of like a Escobar-esque type of interference when it's
Well,
not
I
meant
mean, but it went into MJF's benefit. But
Sure.
sure. Yeah, I'll give my thoughts on that in a second. But please continue.
Yeah, I was just going to finish by saying that, we all heard MJF scream at Adam, and this part I had a problem with, but he was like, Adam, don't let them take my title. Don't let them take my championship. Promise me, Adam. And then Adam says, I promise you. But it's like, I don't think that's how it works in a title match. But you can't just sub in, So I don't know. I don't know what I felt kind of weird about that setup, because when that happened, I knew for a fact that MJF was coming back. Like, he's not going to be, every time they take someone away, he's always coming back, or she. But
and as old school wrestling fans, we all knew where that storyline was heading later that night. So
Yeah.
You bust that out, like that's an old school way of things. Like that later on that night he's gonna go in the ambulance, and we all kind of know what happens later in the pay-per-view. So
Right.
Yeah.
They're not going to let people walk away disappointed at the end of the night. We all knew that he was going to come back no matter what. I think the way that was executed, like you said, though, was kind of cheesy, because he's like, don't let him take my title. Don't let him take my title. Promise me. And
Adam Cole's like, I promise you.
It's like, and I get it. Like, there are ways you can approach it. There are ways that you could have approached it that would have been like, okay, I'll get into that, but like stalling tactic, for example, or some sort of kayfabe thing that happens where you would have prevented stalled enough for MJF to get there. But the way they did it, which we'll get into, I guess, later, I wasn't a fan of.
There was only a brief second where I thought maybe Adam Cole isn't hurt anymore, and this is him coming back, because they've been saying he's going to be gone for several months. All this. I thought he had,
for a second.
Yeah, I thought he had like his inner John Cena, where he was just like he could heal fast.
Someone else had their inner John Cena tonight.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
You see this leg? You can't see this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, that was the match itself, I feel wasn't that great. It was okay. I think they were really just focused on showing this story. So, and that's what I remember from it. So that tells you how much I think of the actual match.
But what do
The
you
only
think?
thing I remember is his kangaroo kick.
Yeah, the kangaroo kick. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the sole purpose was just to drive the storyline.
Right.
And show that Samoa Joe in many ways is still the threat that we look at him as, because mainly most of that match was Samoa Joe showing off, and MJF trying to prove that he can hang with Samoa Joe and screwing himself out of wins in that match, like trying to do the muscle buster on 2 occasions only to screw that up, and every time he tried to show off to Joe, it ended up backfiring and working in the Gun's favor. So it was pretty much to highlight Joe and to drive the storyline.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that it's that finished the 0 hour, and then we kick off the trios match to start the main portion of Full Gear. By the way, I'm looking at the card here on AEW or AllEliteWrestling.com. That's my source. And by the way, subscribe to our channel, guys. We need more followers. We need more subscribers. This is the 5th episode, the Legend of Wrestling podcast with the real legend himself, the Iron Sheik. Tell them what you will do if they don't subscribe.
Break your back and make you humble.
and have a good day. All right. Trios match. Rated R superstar Adam Copeland, Darby Allin and Sting with the Nature Boy, who we talked about earlier.
Woo!
Woo and woo, both woos on one team. Yeah.
That's right.
And they were facing the TNT champion Christian Cage, which is my favorite heel right now in all wrestling. He's to me he's like the blueprint of what a heel should be. And that's over MJF heel that was last year. I think Christian Cage is like the devil persona of MJF. I think this outdoes it because he's ruthless. Like he's going places where people aren't expecting, and I love that. And you've never seen this out of Christian. So to me, this is very fresh. So Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. What do you think of Nick Wayne? Let's start with him.
Nick Wayne there was a guy named Colin something back in the day in WWE.
The one with one leg?
Yeah. Colin
Yeah, I
Delaney.
remember. What was his name? Yeah.
Delaney. Colin
Zach.
Delaney.
Was it
Zach. Yeah.
Zach
Was
Gallen?
it Zach?
Zach Gowen.
Was it Zach Gallen? There was
Yeah.
another guy, Colin.
There was another guy with one leg too. I mean, I remember that as well. But the WWE one was Zach Gallen, I believe.
Well, Nick Wayne reminded me of a full-legged version of these guys. You know what I mean? So
But Zach Gowen's
he's
still
like,
better.
yeah. He's like they were because they came up like super young too, and developed. But also I think he's like around the same age. Like, do you remember? X-Pac back in the day was the 1, 2, 3 kid, and when he came up, and like you got the suit, like they look like they look so young. You know what I mean? But like the guy's got all that talent. Who knows? I mean, but what an experience for that guy. He's getting thrown in the ring with like such legends at this point. And he's got a great opportunity. So
Yeah, you're across the ring with Sting. Yeah, that's amazing. I agree. So the story with him and Darby, right? He was like Darby took him under his wing initially, right? And then he turned on Darby at the last pay-per-view. So now he's the bad boy. What do we think? Yeah.
Just to add to that, I think I heard them say on Full Gear on commentary that their relationship was that Nick Wayne's father trained Darby Allin. It was mentored him.
There we go.
did anybody actually know who Nick Wayne's dad was as a
No.
wrestler?
It's Bruce Wayne. It's Bruce Wayne.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Yeah.
But no, I like Darby Allin, by the way. I think he's for being, like his persona is unique. You haven't really seen a skater like wrestler really. I mean, the closest thing to me that comes to that is probably Raven. Like a certain version of Raven back in the day, like
the headbangers. Remember the headbangers?
Yeah.
But Darby's an amazing talent. He reminds me of Jeff Hardy in terms of how he can like just soar through the air and do these crazy, moves that you're like, holy shit, like you're fucking nuts for doing that. But I just can't get past the Daisy Duke shorts that he wears, man, with the tights. Like it looks like he went to Target, got some pantyhose, put them on, and then ordered some vintage Daisy Duke jeans, man. Like come on, dude. Like, can you get the shorts a little bit lower? It's ridiculous. Like, I know it's 2023, but
Yeah.
That's a whole new thing because, like, as a basketball player, I see that happening because the basketball shorts have gone through the same evolution. Because in the 80s, they were up to, John Stockton. It was like up to your like upper thighs. And then in the 90s, they were below your knees. And now they're back to being like right over your knees. So
yeah, I don't want to see your nut pop out out of your shorts.
I mean, it's a good offensive move. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's your finisher right there. the nut job.
Yeah. Exactly.
What happened here? Luchasaurus with the coffin drop, and then Copeland pinned Luchasaurus. So that's how that match ended. What I think, it was just there was a lot of extracurricular activity with this match because of like the 100 people that were ringside. But you know, that's how they have to do it now. I feel, you know, when TK, as you said, is hiring all these old school wrestlers or even newer guys. They have too many talents. They have too many, and they got to put them on the pay-per-views because they're all politicking and backstage to get that pay-per-view money, you know. So this is the only way you can do it.
Well, to be fair, they did give the younger guys a showcase in this match. I mean, I think Sting had one spot where they said he jumped over Ric Flair, but he didn't actually jump over Ric Flair. Right. And but mainly, yeah, the young guys were doing the spots because Christian Cage hightailed it out of there for most of the match. Right. And, I mean, Ric Flair fell on his ass once, but it was pretty much like the young guys doing their stuff and Luchasaurus looking really strong by pushing most of the people around.
Yeah.
That being said, I didn't think it was like that exciting of a match. Sure. But, you know, it was Sting's farewell in California, so.
That's true. That is true.
That match was for Sting. Yeah, yes. And every time he comes out now, you have to realize like, oh man, like this is a special moment because that's going to be the last time you're going to see him wrestle every time he comes, unless you go to another city or whatever. But so that's all about Sting. But you know, it did its job and it kicked off the actual start of the pay-per-view. And
first gear of Full Gear, yeah, we had that, we had that going, and it is kind of. It's kind of interesting to talk about Sting's last ride in California, man, because that's where he started too. So that's
that's where he's from.
Yeah, exactly. So cool. Then we go on Tony Schiavone on the ramp with Bryce Ramsberg, called out representatives of Bullet Club Gold, the Guns. Switchblade Jay White comes out, and they have their and then Adam Cole comes out. So what do we think of this segment?
Tell him, man.
It was a good transition. That segment, it set up the rest of the storyline for where the pay-per-view was headed. And also, whenever Tony Schiavone comes out, it just gives me so much nostalgia. Like as a little kid watching WCW. Yeah. So I watch him do that anytime. He can come out and do those special segments whenever, you know, bring people to the ring. But he's the best at doing that. So
he has the voice, man. It's the voice for me. It's his voice is iconic. Like that. Yeah. So absolutely.
I liked it. Adam Cole coming out with one leg and saying, "No shot in hell, you're getting the title without a fight." And but anyway, it's like
Cole was also like, he looked like he has
like the Geico guy, like the Geico,
like look like the caveman, like he's just woken up from like you know, he's been frozen for thousands of years, and he just woke up. He's like, I'm here, let's go, yeah,
exactly. And where's Britt Baker when he's here, huh?
Jesus, here we go again.
There's a crush over here. We're trying to. I think we all got a little crush on Britt Baker. Yeah. Honey, I'm sorry. Yeah.
We all want to go to Britsburg. I know. All right.
I definitely want to go to Britsburg. Britt, come on the show.
Yeah. So that happens. They basically make the match again. I talked with Tony Khan, and if MJF can't defend the title, I will do it for him. Whatever. It's a little bit forced. They don't really make it make sense, but it is what it is.
That's the part that I didn't like, though. I'm just gonna flat out say it. There was other approaches you could have took to being able to stall for MJF to get there or to build up some suspense.
Yeah,
we knew that Adam Cole wasn't going to have a match with Switchblade. I mean, this would have worked 20 years ago when we didn't have the net and people weren't smart to the business, because we wouldn't have known what kind of condition Adam Cole was actually in.
Yeah.
Adam Cole, had this been 20 years ago, we could have assumed, oh, well, maybe he's gotten better, you know? Maybe his surgery has progressed and he's done well. But with the net being what it is today and the dirt sheets and so forth, we all know where Adam Cole is in his recovery. No one believed that. So I think that it should have been approached a bit differently. There could have been something else they did with it. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, and it's like he was on Zoom for like the last month, and then all of a sudden he's with all the segments they had on
or cooking to Rodney Strong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Rodney Strong. I call him Rodney.
Rodney. Yeah,
and that's how much I really care about him. To be honest with you, I do not care about Rodney Strong.
yeah. He's a great wrestler, but
that angle sucks.
I know.
I think it's kind of funny.
It's funny. That's what it does serve as a comical. And so I mean, it is what it is. I feel like they wrote that story like an hour before the show like started.
That's my problem with AEW though. They have so much going on. They have such a huge roster of talent. They have the shows also kind of jumbled with Collision, Rampage, Dynamite. Pay-per-views are all constantly all the time, and a lot of these things feel rushed. When they're put out, and the shows on TV, and when you're watching it, like the viewer can tell, like, how much stuff that they put into that segment. So that's kind of how it felt to me.
No, I agree. Hopefully they can get some better writers and work that out, because they have a great company. They just need to kind of get a hold of it and
really flesh out the storylines and tighten up. It shows because the two best matches of the night actually benefited from really strong storylines and build-ups.
Exactly.
It works. See, guys, like the formula works. You got to stick to it.
That's
Tony
right.
Khan, if you're watching this podcast, listen to some fans that really give a shit about what you're doing. All right?
We're old school fans. We've been fans since you've been fans. Like we've been fans as long as you have been, Tony.
Probably older than you, Tony Khan. All right.
Yeah.
Elders.
Definitely Jason. I don't know about me.
Depending on how old Tony is, I'm probably older than him too.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I'm 72, so it's all right. Got a facelift recently. Thank you. It looks good. Right? Check it out.
Oh man, that's funny.
Fred's like, are you really 72? Oh shit. Yeah.
He meant 27. He meant he's 27. Yeah.
He's still trying to figure it out. He's contemplating.
I thought he was 18.
He's 18. He's got a 7-month-old. He's going to be on Jimmy Kimmel. Well, damn, my career is going downhill fast because I'm 37. So
I finally made it. 76-year-old comic here in Los Angeles.
It's never too late. It's never
too late, folks.
Oh man.
All right, and then we continue on to the AEW pay-per-view, because that's what they call it, because it is AEW International Championship match. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy with Hook, and of course Taz joins the commentary table. Makes sense. Versus the Blackpool Combat Club's Jon Moxley with Wheeler Yuta.
My other favorite match of the night.
Yeah, you were telling us about this.
Yes.
I love Jon Moxley. Quick little anecdote. The Shield it was like 13 years or something like that the Shield like formed as of like 2 days ago or yesterday, and USA Network did a whole thing, but they were so petty and they pulled Jon Moxley's photos out of the Shield, and it was only Seth and it was only Roman, and so then the fans just let them have it. They're like, you're petty, USA, you suck, just put on, like, Jon Moxley's a part of this trio. Like, they mentioned Dean Ambrose, but there was no image of him. And it's just like, come on. That's standard.
That's standard.
But
WWE.
Vince isn't even like, usually that's a Vince move, but he's not even in charge anymore. So
yeah. It might be a Triple H also, a little carryover. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know what I mean?
That's yeah. Come on, son-in-law, get it together.
Yeah, that's right.
But
there's actually no McMahons that are involved anymore in that company, which is crazy to think about. Shane left, Stephanie left, and then Vince just got let go, which is crazy to think.
He's he got let go with
never.
no money at all. He's broke. I felt terrible for the guy. Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know.
Vince McMahon is all elite.
Yeah,
imagine.
Yeah, Vince McMahon, I'm on.
He's gonna trim that new mustache of his.
God, yeah. What did you call him when he looked like a?
You said Vince looks like a.
I don't know if that's appropriate for the show right now.
He looks like an. We'll just say he looks like an
He
Italian.
looked like a dictator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll say he looks like Pepe Le Pew a little bit. You know, with that,
There you go.
mustache, or
Yeah.
he's got Salvador Dali thing going on a little bit too. You know? Yeah,
Going a little bit.
or Mussolini, whatever you want to go.
There you go. Exactly. Oh man. So this match, what do we think? Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy with Hook versus Blackpool's John Moxley.
Yeah. Another match where he got Mox bleeding like you never like insane amount of blood, but that's just what Moxley does. He's always getting busted open, so when you ever have a Moxley match, you know it's going to be blood. But
Yeah.
good match, man. I love Orange Cassidy. I think he's like so unique, and I know not everybody likes that that uniqueness that he has, but for me, it's cool, and I think he was cool to see Moxley let him put him over and keep that title on him, and so yeah.
That's true. Yeah. It's and this was one of your favorite matches, so we already know.
Yeah.
I personally, yeah, Orange is great. I love that persona, and you're right. It's kind of like polarizing. I feel like that character would never get over in WWE. Like they would never let that happen. So that's what I do appreciate about AEW is that they do allow these indie styles of characters to have some get the spotlight more. Yeah.
Well, here's what I really liked about the match. I like the fact that, first of all, that whole rivalry since it started has been really strong. They've both competed really hard. And I like that Moxley has made Orange Cassidy look like $1 million.
Yeah.
Both of them come out of these matches really strong, but Orange Cassidy prior to this, especially since he came from an indies background where he was kind of a comedy act, it's elevated him to a point where now we can take him seriously.
Yeah.
Like he's in these matches where he's taking a vicious beating as well as dishing them out and now being considered a serious competitor to other people on the roster versus just your underdog comedy act. And I thought that this rivalry as well as this match accomplished that really well. And they're both great performers. So
fair enough. Yeah. No, I agree. And he deserves. He's a great worker, so he should be getting the push. But at some point, I think the character has to evolve a little bit so that it complements the style of work that is necessary.
I think it did that slightly with this rivalry, though. That's what I'm saying. It's going in the right
direction.
It
is.
If they continue this way.
But he needs opponents like a Moxley to make that happen. So
yeah, I mean, I think we also see that like the fighting champion that is Orange Cassidy, and that he can hang with the best of them. And last night just was another good showing for him that shows like I can hang with the top guys.
That's right. That's absolutely true. Okay, I have to say I did mention the Texas Death Match was my favorite match, but I think my favorite character right now is this next part of this next match, and that's the AEW Women's World Championship match. Toni Storm and this version of like she's this black and white, like, you know, she's in that, she time travels and like she's in the it kind of gives like a little bit like a Marilyn Monroe-esque type of.
It's kind of like a 30s and 40s feel.
Yeah,
like 30s 40s Hollywood.
And I love it. I think it works. And her and she
got that great
delivers.
vibe and all that.
Yeah, she delivers on the facial expressions and her verbiage that she uses, but like all of it. And she's already like, you know, she has the accent, so like that helps. But like I think obviously she wins this match against Hikaru Shida. But she wins the title, but then the facial expression when she's just laying there in the middle of the ring, to me, like that was like the culmination of that character. Like she has the eyes for it. She's gorgeous, by the way, but she also has the eyes for it and like the facial mouth expression to like oh, she's in shock. But like she creates that. And I don't know if another female wrestler could pull this off, like how she's pulling it off.
I love it, man. I think it's a great uh, character for her to play. She, like you said, that she fits it perfectly. She handles it right. I mean, you're talking from like the Tony Storm role with the little stripe under her eye, like that old that look to coming all this way. The iterations of that Tony Storm is now, and it's working. Like, and credit to the creator for letting her just do this and run with it. And they made the right decision by putting the belt on her last night, and she can definitely carry it. It's intriguing. Eyes are on her. Good move by AEW.
Absolutely.
Don't call it a belt.
I agree with you guys on a lot of points. Tony Storm's always been very, very talented.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons she was such a hot prospect earlier on in her career with a lot of these organizations. I think that her getting this character, though, has been a vast improvement in terms of character work. Mm-hmm. She's always been great in the ring, a great worker, but this character just encapsulates like her creativity and who she really is. I think that's one of the reasons why she ended up leaving WWE, because she felt restricted with what they want to do with her character. And now it's good to see her shine doing what she actually enjoys doing, and it shows.
Yeah.
My only critique of this match, and it's not a big critique, but I just found myself laughing, is the fact that tray was so obviously out of her.
I mean, it wasn't even subtle. It was like hanging on by a thread, and the referee absolutely does not see this at all.
That's true.
But I think she even played that well. That's why I'm not critiquing it that bad, because Tony Storm herself knew this thing was hanging by a thread, and she played it up with facial expressions like, "Oh, the referee does not know." Like, "Oh, let me go." Wait, it backs up again before she does the, rear end. It was well done. I'm able to suspend my belief and overlook the referee's ignorance just because of, again, her character work. So that was great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's for sure. I'm like the whole time the thing's just like dangling off her butt cheek.
It shines too. It's under the light. How do you not see this?
I like, oh, the referee missed it. And it's like, but the referee's staring right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we didn't. I think you're right. Her character's so over the top. It's so big. It's refreshing. It's different, and we buy into it. So we're like, we don't overlook any mistakes or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 100%. It was a happy accident, and I think it makes this character and the approach and the whole thing kind of gets me to like broken Matt Hardy type of like character. You know, it's like something you don't expect, but it's intriguing. It's alternative. It's not. Yeah, it works.
It takes you to another universe. That's what it does.
Universe.
See what you did there. I don't even think WWE calls it universe anymore. Yeah, but
Well, in that case, it's a belt, damn it.
it is a belt. Yeah. Oh my god.
So that match concludes. Congrats to Toni Storm. Well deserved. She even gets her bouquet of flowers from Mariah May, who walked out after the match. Then we cut to Renee Paquette, with the ROH World Champion Eddie Kingston. And this is what I was alluding to earlier, that he said he was going to put up his belt, both of his belts,
with each defense
for this the Strong Openweight Championship and the ROH World Championship. The New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. That's intriguing because now, do we think he's gonna? I mean, because now it's like, oh, he's got to win. But then it's like, is he going to lose the titles? How is it going to work?
He doesn't have to win. It's not like it's set in stone. This is one of those times where, depending on the competitors in the tournament, he might very well lose. You know, we don't know. It actually does build up some sort of intrigue to who can actually win this triple crown, because the winner of the tournament is going to win all those belts because they're all going to be on the line.
Right.
And the interesting part about that tournament, again, the pay-per-view in which it happens. So, or whatever they call these premium events.
Well, no,
nowadays.
these guys got pay-per-views because,
but-
yeah.
In any case, it's on December 30th in Long Island.
Yeah.
And that's the day before the war of 2024 begins.
That's right. That's right. That's
In Long Island. The bidding war.
the bidding war. That's right. That's crazy. Yeah, what do you think, Jason?
I think the AEW has way too many belts. I think it's a little confusing to the average fan. I can't even keep up with the amount of belts that they have, but kudos to Eddie Kingston for putting the belts on the line. I don't think Eddie Kingston can do any wrong in the fans' eyes, win or lose. I think it's all good. I just think that this tournament will hopefully be refreshing. They might have some surprise people that come into the tournament. Not that I know or anything. It's just I think it would be a good time to do something like that, like bring in a Dolph Ziggler or Goldberg if he wants to if they want to have an early Hanukkah present, for AEW. But
No, if Goldberg wants that Triple Crown, I'm gonna stop watching the program.
Yeah.
Too much.
Goldberg screwed Brett. Yeah.
no, I could have
Goldberg
watched
screwed AEW. AEW.
Yeah. Everyone.
It's about time. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think we shall see, because you also alluded to thinking that the devil was going to be. Well, I don't know if you said Goldberg is the devil, but you said Goldberg would come back at Full Gear.
Oh no, I thought that the devil was going to be CM Punk.
You said that's right. You said it could be CM Punk, and I actually was hoping you were right, because I actually like Punk in AEW a lot more than in WWE, because I don't know if he's going to be able to have this be the same Punk in WWE. It's going to be. I know he's going to have a lot more pull just because of his legend. He's probably going to get a Legends contract, but it's I don't know. They still haven't revealed the devil, by the way, either, so we don't know. We at any point in Full Gear, they did not mention the devil. So
didn't even come up,
which is interesting, right? Everyone expected it to come up. So is it coming up on Dynamite this Wednesday, or is it not? We shall see. That's going to lead to the next chapter of all of this. But what do you think? You think it's going to be Punk and we've been swerved?
I don't think it's going to be Punk.
No.
Only reason I see that it might not be Punk is because it just doesn't seem like an angle that he would probably approve of even doing himself, like something that he would run with. He's more of like a realism-based character. But at the same time, that would be a good swerve if it was. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe it could be Adam Cole himself.
Oh, Adam Cole, baby. Or maybe it's Britt.
Britt can be my devil.
Yeah. No, I could see that would be intriguing. Roderick Strong could be another one. I just feel like whoever it's gonna be, it's got to be as epic as when the higher power was Vince McMahon back in the day, right? You guys remember that, when it was like,
what if it's Shane McMahon that comes out?
Oh my God, Shane. Like old time WCW when he showed up in WCW television.
Yeah. And I bought WCW.
Yeah, and I bought WCW. Oh my God.
The only organization, WWE, that would actually introduce God as a competitor.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about the double angle. We'll see where that goes. Cool. Next match. Tag team championship ladder match. Oh, this was my other favorite match. I had the Texas Death match. This match was amazing to me. I thought they did a great job. And the spots were very well, or like some of the spots that Brody King did was insane. Like some of those skull crushers on the ladders that actually broke.
Yeah, it did have great spots on that.
It had great spots. Yeah. And speaking of, I love every member of the Kings of the Black Throne, I guess is what they're called.
Well, that's the tag team, the House of Black.
House of Black, House of Black, right. Yeah. So anyway, it was FTR, it was Big Bill, and
The Pebble.
an absolute Ricky Stark, as he does. Yeah, and then LFI and Kings of the Black Throne. Amazing. I thought it was amazing. Everybody got their moments in this match. I felt probably Big Bill had like the least interesting out of all of them. He did a choke slam just on the mat. I was like, dude, you have like 20 ladders around you. Like, like it was like his spots were kind of like a letdown. I thought there was like a few things he did that were just kind of like mid for the type of match that this was.
That was weird to me because how can Big Bill not have a spot when a couple matches earlier, you have what's his name, Darby Allin taking that bump on the side of the ring from Luchasaurus. And you mean to tell me a guy like Big Bill could have done something to somebody else in that match?
Right.
But guys,
He's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that.
all right.
Clearly can't teach that anything.
I know.
That guy needs to come back with Enzo Amore and form that
Oh
tag
my
team.
God,
Those
dude.
guys are the best.
I share that. I share the same sentiment. I think Enzo and Cass were
Big
great.
kiss.
Big Cass, yeah. They were great, man. And I know they had a falling out after they got let go, but I think they reunited for like a small stint on the independent circuit. But yeah,
It's just I can't get behind Big Bill. Yeah,
Big Bill.
mean,
It's so dumb.
It's just said, yeah. I mean, you went from Big Cass to W Morrissey to Big Bill. I mean, yeah, he's got a great presence, but like that name just can't. I can't get behind the name. But it's a good tag team. They do well. I still wish FTR had the belts. The way they lost the belts was just like so random about how they lost it. But you know, I think at this point they got to keep the belts on them. You know, so.
Right. I feel like they could have called him Big Cash. If you're going to call him Big Bill, like it's the same idea. Big Cash, and you're paying homage to Big Cass, and also like you're not going to get sued.
Yeah.
So, you know,
there you go.
You
There's
know,
a Big Bill.
yeah, Big Bill just sounds like it's on that, like, you know, what was that show when we watched as kids, like School of Rock, when they were like, you know what I'm saying, like the big it was like the I'm just a Bill, you know. It just takes me to those days. But anyway, yeah, and his lack of spots didn't help this take either. So yeah, who won this match?
The Pebble.
The Big Bill.
Yeah. The Pebble won the match.
Ricky Stark.
Absolutely. I like him. I like Ricky Stark. He's like a miniature version of The Rock.
That's why he's
the rock off.
Yeah.
The rock off a Wish.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it was a good match all around. I thought, I don't know, did you guys expect another team to win it, or are you surprised by the finish, or what?
No.
Nah, I thought they were going to keep the belts on them. I mean, you don't just like beat FTR and then they just take the belts off of you. FTR is, to me, the best tag team in all of professional wrestling.
I agree.
Currently. So, yeah, I mean, there's a reason that they're behind them. They're going to push them. They think that they're going to sell merch or whatever, and so yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, the company's really strongly behind Ricky Starks, I've noticed. He's already held a couple of titles, and they really put him at the forefront of some of these people's cross angles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't see them losing. It was interesting, though, to find out that Brody was from Van Nuys.
Yeah.
When they said that,
I mean, he does do shows out here in San Fernando, those hardcore shows. I mean, our friend Majid's always talking about that.
Yeah.
But it was interesting
he has
to
a band.
find out that he is out here in from the Valley in Van Nuys.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they're like, where's Ricky Starks from? Forgot that, but they're like Ricky Starks, wherever he's from, and then Ricky Starks, but what's his name? Alistair Black. Where's Alistair Black?
The guy
Black.
Alistair.
Yeah, they're like Malachi Black from here and
yeah, from Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, and then they're like and Brody King from Van Nuys. I was like,
That's California.
Yeah, I know, right? That's funny, actually. Yeah. No, yeah, I think Brody is great. And that group deserves, like, individually, those guys deserve like a big push, including Malachi Black. I think he should be in a title run at some point.
Well, somebody in that faction finally got something for themselves, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. So moving on, we got the TBS Championship match. It was Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart versus Sky Blue. I'm taking a liking to Sky Blue. She's a newer. She's got this persona, the makeup, all of that. I'm very interested in her. Her push, yeah.
Yeah, she's got the whole. I think she's got the whole package, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Julia wins the match. Julia Hart.
So House of Black actually takes home a title.
There you go.
Yeah, they were losers all night. And out of nowhere, Julia Hart with that.
If you want to get it done right, let the ladies do it.
But I will
Let
say,
the ladies do it.
my least favorite match.
You could have just kept that out.
No,
I gotta be real. It just didn't have any storyline pushing it, not that anybody really took notice of. The ring work was good. You know, I'm not gonna say anything was bad about the match, but on a card like this,
it had to be placed here, though. It couldn't have been placed anywhere else.
No, I understand the placement of it. I'm not critiquing the placement. I'm just saying it was a solid match, but it wasn't something that stood out storyline wise or even spot wise or wrestling. It's just a solid wrestling.
But can you guys even talk about one storyline in the women's division that AEW has truly done well and executed? I can't. So
yeah. And then they lost the former TBS champion Jade Cargill. They lost her to WWE.
She's gone missing now. No one knows what happened to her.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would say the finish of this match was interesting. Is like when Julia stole the pinfall, like stole it from Chris Statlander. She gave the finish, and then Julia pushed her off, and then she took the pin. I thought that was cool. Like, you don't see that happen that often.
It was appropriate.
Yeah,
because she was a smaller competitor, and it made the match finish believable.
Yeah, exactly. And as Taz said it, man, she stole that win, and it was perfectly done. That's also, literally.
Her faction is a heel faction too, right, so that was a heel thing to do to take the victory from someone else. It was appropriate.
But they're the type of heels that get cheered.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, and she's actually the youngest AEW champion that they've ever had.
Wow,
so.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool. And then here comes the bruv. Here comes the announcement. Yes, Tony Schiavone in the ring, your favorite. Blockbuster contract signing. It should be a Netflix contract signing because Blockbuster is out of business. But Will Ospreay walks down. He's the big surprise that Tony Khan has been hinting at. And then he comes in the ring just to say, "Not yet."
Hear me out, bruv.
Yeah.
Bruv, do me a favor. I'll be here in a few months.
Yeah.
Like, give me the millions, bruv, right now. I'll also go to Triple H.
Which was actually Rupert.
He did the lick. He did the pen lick after he signed.
Bro. Who's got some? Now let's get fucked up at the bar and smash beer bottles on our heads. All right, bro.
Got a couple more points to drink.
So what do we? Okay, I know we talked about this earlier, but I'm just curious. What is there to win by introducing a wrestler that can't technically be full-time yet with your company? Like to announce them in the middle of your pay-per-view, to announce them just for them to immediately say, "I have bad news. I can't actually." Like, usually when they say I have bad news, it's a work. Like, it's some sort of angle. But this is just real. Like, he's just not able to join them on a full-time basis. What is the win there then to announce it?
This is purely a Tony Khan ego thing, in my opinion. This was to say F you to WWE, Triple H, that you didn't sign him and I did. So that's all that was today.
I mean, that's fine, but he could just put that on his website. It doesn't have to be. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it almost is like premature, just like TNA saying they're TNA when they're not TNA yet. You know what I mean? But yeah, what
Again, they're all petty. At the end of the day, these guys are grown-ass men that act like 5-year-old kids. They want to show off their new toy and say, hey, I have this and you don't.
Right, but I also don't. I have this, but I don't have it yet. It's like,
no. My mom got me the PlayStation 5, but it's on pre-order. It'll be here in 3 months.
This reminds me of when I was a little fob boy in America, and my cousin who was living here like his whole life, he was like, "Oh, dude, you should buy Sega Saturn. It's like the hottest thing on the block." I went and bought Sega Saturn. A week later, N64 comes out, and I see it in his house. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. You knew that. You knew that, and you didn't tell me.
You know what? It could be, again, one of those FU moments because maybe they do have some inside information. If CM Punk really did come back at Survivor Series, maybe this was like a PR move to counteract and soften that blow, but I don't know what good it would do. I'm just saying maybe that's how Tony Khan thinks.
Maybe. Yeah. No, I feel like it's the Punk thing, even though it's in Chicago and all that, I don't know if that's the move. I kind of don't want him to show up at Survivor Series. If he's come back to WWE, let it happen at the Rumble, because that would make the 10-year mark of him. That was his last appearance in WWE, technically in the ring. Yes, he did the whole SmackDown thing on Fox, but it was like the 10-year mark of him being, and it was Royal Rumble was his last time appearing in the ring. To have him come back 10 years later, that makes a lot more sense. But anyway, what are your thoughts?
It just, to me, I totally get what you're saying. To me, like, if they were trying to do that, like you're saying, Fred, like, why would they bring somebody like Will Ospreay in to me that really truly doesn't have the star power to the average fan? Like, if you bring somebody in like that to try to, like, say we're going to get CM Punk coming in there, it doesn't make any sense, because, like, you're going to build that much hype. Like, the average fan doesn't really know who Will Ospreay is. The average fan knows CM Punk all day, every day. So if they were trying to make a splash last night, it didn't really hit the deep end that well.
It didn't really work. Yeah.
As a whole, that contract signing was a bit disappointing. I get it. Will Ospreay has been a great talent, done a lot of great work in New Japan for a very long time, and he is very, very good at what he does. That being said, you're talking about a guy that was literally fresh off a pay-per-view at Impact Graveyard Wrestling about a month ago. So,
Take it easy.
For that to be your major signing, that was like a wah, wah, wah.
Impact Wrestling is like Thomas the Engine, you know what I mean? It's just a little engine that could. Everyone shits on all the time, but it keeps moving, man. Here we are 20 years later. It's still there. It's insane. Yeah.
Man. So anyway, we shall see what comes of the whole Will Ospreay experience. And yeah, we'll do a whole other episode on Punk and when he's showing up. Okay, the match of the night. I think we all agree, the Texas Death Match. Hangman versus Swerve Strickland and Nana. That's my name. Prince Nana being on his side, doing his little. What is it? Is it the swerve? What is the dance that he does?
I don't even know.
It's funky.
It's funky, yeah.
It's like a voodoo dance.
Yeah, right. I like that Hangman didn't wait for his music to hit. He started the match. He just went after Swerve because that made the story make sense, and it was a perfect way to start the match. I was actually hoping that would happen before he did it, and I was like, great. Yeah, it felt like a real fight, and of course, a lot of blood. Even Taz was like, "This is." He's like, I feel like I'm back in Philly. This is wild. That's a literal quote from Taz announcing this match. But even Taz was uncomfortable at some points watching the match. So that tells you how gruesome it did get. Swerve was really, he got a big gash on his head. Yeah. Do we think there's a lot of kids that are watching AEW do we think that they're, and I know that we can look this up, but just guessing, their demographic, I'm assuming, is a lot more like our age and probably like 20-year-olds. So I don't think they could do this type of match.
I think it's 25 and above to like the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Their main demographic. But I'll say this, even if there's kids watching, I mean, I guess I'm not a parent, so I'm not qualified, but I'll say this. Maybe this just speaks to my parents' parenting, because I don't know if they were great at times or not, but I used to watch matches with blood when I was a kid.
Oh, me too.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't grow up wanting to bust people open.
Yeah.
I just took it as like, these guys are professionals, and you get hurt sometimes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. But I also think us growing up was very different than what it is now. Like I think,
True.
And I know you have
SAWFT soft.
Now I know you have a 7-month-old, so you can't really give a parent's opinion on this, or maybe you can. I don't know. But what are your thoughts overall on the amount of gore that was in this match?
My son watched the whole death match with me, man. He thought it was awesome. And, yeah, he started jumping off the couch, doing elbow drop and the whole thing, man. So,
Man, your son is very developed at 7
yeah,
months.
At the end of it, he's like, "Ooh, yeah, dig it." But he, cream of the crop, no. Man, it was nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. ECW
All the way.
like all the way. You know, there was times when I was a kid and I was watching ECW, watching like New Jack and all
Yeah.
those guys, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is really happening right now. But that match last night was very similar to that, and it kind of brought me back to the OG AEW match between Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes, where that was complete bloodbath.
Yeah.
Which I think it was All In or whatever. But that was like, oh man, AEW is going to be incredible. We have to reduce all that. And there's been a lot of stuff like that, other types of that. But this match, I thought, just was executed like perfectly. I was kind of tuning out of the pay per view. I said until that match came on, and I was like doing the whole holy shit chance, like, towards the middle of it. And it was nuts, man. It was absolutely nuts. And like I said, it's not for everybody, but wow, that was a special fucking match to put on.
It was.
So,
100%.
If I had to nitpick one thing about that match, and this is really me drawing straws here, so I'm not really trying to nitpick at all, but I don't know how I feel about Brian Cage's involvement in that match. I think that match was just fine without him getting involved. It was already perfect. But again, it didn't take away either. That's just me drawing straws. So.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're going somewhere with that angle, but I thought it was good. It gave me a little bit like at some points when Swerve was just sitting there while they were counting, or when the ref was counting to 10 for Adam Page, and it was like the amount of blood coming down. It reminded me of that promo by Ric Flair when he like starts hitting himself in the head, and then it wouldn't stop, Yeah.
I love the comedy, like you mentioned in that match too. Like there's that one spot where Prince Nana drags Swerve out by the feet, and Swerve's just like like this, and he's doing the little dance.
Right.
Like, look, he's standing.
Yeah.
He's standing.
Right.
So do you think they were blading last night, or do you think some of the spots like were really busted open?
Like hard way? Like you think like how Brock Lesnar hard ways all the time? Like he actually gets cut off.
Well, I mean, you said you saw a huge gash from Swerve Strickland.
I think that was a cut. I think that was something he bladed himself.
The blood looked real.
Oh, the blood was real. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but like when you're saying whether or not they cut, even when they blade, like sometimes the way it comes down, this looked like fresh, like not like a reopened wound.
Right. I think it was a blade job, and I think he just cut too deep, and that's why it was.
Does Hangman Page have hepatitis? Did you see that when he swallowed Swerve Strickland's blood into his
Oh,
mouth.
that was a spot that was crazy.
That
Yeah.
was
Like, really? You're not
No.
worried about your health at this point?
Right. Well,
Yeah,
then
it was like,
that's true, huh? We have to. Well, we shall see.
Well, we'll just ask Abdullah the Butcher about all of that.
Yeah. We'll
yeah,
find
Abdullah the Butcher, man. Where was he last night? I'll tell you, that was perfect for him.
Yep, that guy also would know whether or not someone has hepatitis C. But
Oh yeah, that he's got all the viruses all over his forehead, man. All this
on a
itching and stuff.
positive note, tonight for me, this was
For Strickland, this was his Steve Austin moment.
I
He
agree.
really got over. Like, remember when he passed out to the sharpshooter,
Yeah.
but didn't quit the double turn?
Yeah.
Where they finally got on Steve Austin's side.
Yeah.
I feel like for Swerve Strickland, that was the night. Last night was definitely.
him fully getting over with the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I've been
Mania.
having a hard time getting behind Swerve Strickland, but last night I was like, no, credits due where credit due.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You comparing it to Mania 13, and our good friend Jason here, he interviewed Brett about that, and we can add that link to our description here for people who want to subscribe to Jason's channel as well on YouTube. We're all wrestling marks over here, man. We all love this shit. But anyway, so that match was good. My favorite spot, psychological. It was a psychological moment. It was a great finish with the chain, but hanging Hangman. I thought that was kind of that was
poetic justice.
It was poetic. It was poetic. I honestly didn't think that Swerve was going to win this match, especially because like of all of the like going into his house, and then that final promo last Wednesday when Hangman like went off on him, and they couldn't touch each other obviously because that would have meant the match was off. That was a stipulation, and I thought the promo was so strong that even if they wanted Swerve to go over, I thought that made it feel like Hangman's going to win this match. But we got swerved, so it was great. I liked it.
You know who was happy with that swerve?
Swerve.
Your boy CM Punk.
Oh yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, man. Oh man, that was I want CM Punk, Adam Page down the road to have their like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart like hashing it out moment. Like I want them to get back in the ring and finish their program because they had a good program. All the backstage bullshit aside, they had a good program, I thought. And
they did. I'd like to see CM Punk versus Hangman Page versus Seth Rollins because that is some serious heat from the three of those guys.
Yeah, because Seth he's not crazy about Punk. I don't know if it's or not.
I don't know. They do a good job. But also last night when that one spot happened with the barbed wire when it hit Hangman Page and it pulled his hair out.
Oh yeah, it was on his face. It was like pulling on his face. Yeah,
I was like, how did you guys how did you guys even come up with that spot, or was that just an accident?
That was definitely an accident, but it added to the match for sure. I think
you guys are feeling it right now.
Totally.
Yeah.
It also reminded me of another AEW match, between Chris Jericho and Nick Gage. If you remember that match from like a year ago, they
Pizza
had
cutters.
Yeah, pizza cutter. Yeah, that was another great match. I never expected Jericho to take a match like that, but I'm so glad that he did. But amazing match. We all agree this match was great from all angles. Okay, tag team titles opportunity versus tag team breakup. The Golden Jets, stupid name. I'm gonna admit the name is very dumb. Speaking of Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks. I think Chris Jericho probably has a record for the most different names in wrestling. Like his base has always been Chris Jericho, but he's been the Lionheart. He's been in Spanish, what is it? Corazón de León. And then he was also he was the Ayatollah of rock and roll. You know, the names are endless.
But they were all well done. He's always reinvented his character according to his name appropriately. I'll say two things about this match to start. I have to take it back. This was my least favorite match.
Okay.
Sorry, the ladies, they get a step up now. This was my least favorite match. And the second thing is, what is it with Kenny Omega naming everything after Golden? I mean, literally, the guy could shit out a nugget and have a tag team and call it the Golden Nugget.
And it's just Jeff Jarrett.
He could go to the bathroom and call it the Golden Shower. Like literally, he has golden lovers with what's his name? The guy he always tags up with in Japan.
What is it?
How are we all blanking on
yeah, I know.
Habushi?
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi,
Kota
yeah.
Ibushi, yeah.
The Golden Lovers. I mean, what kind of... Anyway, he's
There's something about him and Golden something that he has an affinity for. I'm not here for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was my least favorite match. I apologize to the ladies. You get elevated a step above this one. Because anything that has Young Bucks to me these days, just it gets under my skin.
Young Bucks absolutely are overrated, in my opinion. There was a point in time they were actually like they lived up to their fame and their name and the super kick parties and all of that. Like, I get it. It was like it became trendy. But as soon as they started Elite, their egos have gone through the roof. They fractured the relationship with CM Punk. Like, and I'm not being biased about that. I'm just saying he's not the only wrestler who's not happy with the Bucks. And it's like, they need to either be – Tony Khan needs to step in and be like, you guys need to just go back to being wrestlers or just even advisors. Don't have legitimate – because what they're turning into is the outsiders. They're turning into Kevin Nash.
Without the charisma.
Without the charisma.
At least the outsiders could get over because they were still able to talk and put on promos on cameras and still get the fans on their side.
Yeah.
The Bucks – where can I start with the Bucks? First of all, at the beginning of their career, they're already Hardy's 0.5. Okay, but they were talented, and I still believe that they are. I'll give them that.
Yeah,
but they no longer really show that talent in the ring. They turn everything they do into a super kick party. Yeah. I feel like I'm playing with a cheat code on a WWE version of a game. Or, I guess in this case, AEW Fight Forever. Because literally, when you play the game against people online, that's exactly what they do. They super kick all day.
Oh, my God.
Just like the real Bucks. I digress.
Yeah.
The Bucks have literally let their career get to their head.
Yep.
And they're just out of control. And they're not putting half the effort in the ring, in my opinion.
They were actually removed as EVPs this past week. So
they were removed.
Yes!
Yes!
No way!
Yeah.
Dude, I did not know this.
Okay,
You
hear it first.
Thank you for the breaking news there. Let's do the not Bryan Danielson, but Daniel Bryan. Yes. So that's legit. Okay, so they're taking away. So they're no longer EVPs. Okay, that is
great news. I'll say it.
Now hold on. If that's true. Now I could believe the devil being CM Punk, because
that's right.
Because the counterfeit Bucks are gone from Power, and the devil was behind it all. Now that would be
the counterfeit Bucks because they're tearing them right in their entrance.
yeah, that's cool.
I'm glad to hear what you guys are saying, though. Yeah, I'm glad to hear what you guys are saying because, like, universally, like, we all as fans cannot stand the Bucks, and like, I don't think you're going to talk to one AEW fan at this point who was like, yeah, the Bucks are awesome, because they're not. They just we talk about heels like doing their job, but the Bucks to me aren't even heels. The Bucks to me are just egomaniacs that shine that shines through them when they're on TV. You see it, like, it's infectious how ignorant they are in terms of like thinking that like they are the cream of the crop at AEW, when in reality they're just two talented wrestlers that should be wrestling.
That's it. I don't take away from their wrestling ability. They're great wrestlers. It's just, I think they're behind the scenes and management. I'm glad they're no longer EVPs. That's amazing. I got to go look into that. And unless Yeah, I just need to see what caused that to happen, because if at any moment that should have happened, that should have been when Punk was still in the company, or is he in the company?
Well, perhaps new evidence has surfaced that has caused the Bucks to be removed from power.
Maybe. I mean, you know, you don't. What is the thing they say? Like you don't cherish someone till they're gone. And maybe Punk was telling the truth. He's always the truth teller. Tell me when I'm telling lies. That's what he always said on TV.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it, man. That makes me want Punk back even more. Not even
And his ice cream bars.
that WWE ice cream bars. Let's get it going. Now they'll
I love Punk, man. I love Punk.
Oh man, he was great. He was.
AEW needs Punk back there. TK.
I hope
that.
he comes back to AEW. That I don't. The fact that he came back, period, and it was after 7 years of absence, and it was in AEW, like that created a whole new chapter of it. So now the going back to WWE isn't even as sexy as it would have been if he just came back the first time.
Well, it suits his style too. It's the place, the environment that, like, where his style fits in.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen him in WWE. It's a more tame version of Punk. This place allows him to be the type of wrestler that he wants to be. He belongs there. I'd rather see him in WWE than not at all.
Right.
But I do prefer him in AEW.
I agree. The AEW should be where he's at. And Tony Khan, just please forgive him. He didn't mean to hit you at All In. But I mean, even his last match, if that was his last match, amazing. Like, what a way to go out. So
I think it's all a work, man, and I think this is going to be the ultimate long-term storytelling. So,
are you serious? That would be amazing, because I fully bought into the fact that they fired him, and I think they did fire him. Maybe they fired him, and then they had to sit down and said, "Listen, you showed that you're a hothead," which I don't. That's a fair assessment of Punk. In backstage, he's very passionate and he does things he shouldn't. But putting his hand on the boss, do you think that didn't happen, or it did happen?
I don't think that happened.
You don't think it happened? Oh my God. Okay.
Even if it did happen, let's just say it did happen. It happened in the heat of a moment, right? Maybe it was right for Tony Khan to fire him at that moment to set precedent for the company.
Yeah.
But
To you.
Yeah.
Is it something you can overlook down the road? And if so, why would it be any surprising news to find out that CM Punk was just a couple of months later rehired as a result of cooler heads prevailing?
Yes. And maybe the EVP thing is part of the deal. Maybe he says, I'll come back if these jabronis are no longer.
They created a show for him.
He did.
They gave him his own show.
Exactly.
They created Collision to be CM Punk's show. They, in my opinion, they needed to. They knew that they can't compete with WWE at this point. And as much as they tried to they can bring in whoever they want. Like, WWE is the machine. It's going to be like that for a long time until AEW might be 20 something years old and then have a chance at that. But they know they need CM Punk, and they need good long-term storytelling. As a wrestling fan, since like I was a kid and watching this religiously for so many years, my belief is that he's coming back, and we all got swerved. So
I hope so. I really hope so. And that really makes me more intrigued in the devil character now, because I feel like I don't think they've announced it on TV, have they? Like, they haven't announced that the EVPs are no longer, or the Bucks.
No, you can look it up. It was just dropping. It was like, it's not like a big announcement.
Okay.
The Bucks have stepped. I mean, that's not a kayfabe thing. It's just like the Bucks have stepped down as EVPs, and they're going to be wrestlers.
If they do bring back CM Punk, though, I'll just say this: I hope that. Well, it's not a hope. I don't think actually that they're going to bring him back in the same capacity. I think they're just going to bring him back as a wrestler, because at this point, I think Tony Khan has literally pretty much made it official that Bryan Danielson is pretty much his second in command now, and is really happy with his position. And also, it takes a lot of pressure off of Punk and allows him just to be the wrestler that he wants to be instead of dealing with the backstage politics that he hates.
Yeah.
He already stole the show because we stopped talking about the match that we were going to talk about.
He stole the show. Right? Yeah. He stole the Punk. You're not even there, and you're stealing the show. I love it. I love it. But exactly. So Omega and the best part of this match wasn't really the match itself, but it was Don Callis's commentary. It was
hot dog.
Yeah, the hot dogs. The hot dogs commentary. It was pretty hilarious. Him saying like, I think you got the history wrong. You got to thank me for that. I was just like the way he kept taking the sunshine or the shine of like the legacy of Kenny and Chris. It was fun. I really like how he just takes that. But anyway, Jericho and Omega, the Golden Jets, they win. They win this match.
They get to keep their cheap name,
and they take the tag team title opportunity away from the Bucks. And the Bucks became the children that we all think they are, and they started to throw a tantrum. And despite Kenny Omega's efforts to try to make amends, they were poor children about it and stormed off.
They did this already. They did the same thing when they teamed up with FTR. Yeah. They refused to shake their hand.
Yeah,
they're just being themselves on TV, the petty selves.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. Nothing golden about this match,
other than the hot dog.
Oh, yeah, it was hard. It was hard to get into it because like you just had that Texas Death Match. We were on such a high. This, when you have a match like this, although it had great talent in there, like we were all like kind of just energy depleted after we watched such a crazy match like that, and then you're doing all these crazy spots. I mean, Omega he is the best out machine. I mean, he's amazing, but come on, you can't top what we just watched. So. Yeah.
But it's a shame because the talent in this match, being Jericho and Omega, they're great and they deserved. They probably shouldn't have followed that match. Maybe they could have preceded that match. That might have been a better order, but. They were stuck between two huge matches, the Texas Death Match and this main event. So, it was a tricky spot on the card. Anyway, it happened, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, Jericho, man, leave it to him to keep reinventing himself.
I think Jericho came up with the name Golden Jets. Sounds like a very Jericho thing.
You think Jericho did it? Not Omega?
Yeah.
Probably did the Jets part.
The Jets part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny Omega's like, Golden. He's like, Jets! Let's do it. It's like such a Jericho. You just made the list. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, that was one of my favorite Jericho characters was the list.
Maybe one day he'll bring it back.
Him and Kevin Owens were one of the best. Like so funny.
That was awesome.
Were just amazing. Yeah, hilarious. Canadians are funny. Who would have known? Okay, going to the main event. It's gonna be Zach Gowen. Adam Cole. Adam Cole, baby. On crutches, coming to the ring. He couldn't even do his entrance because he was crippled. It's like he had to sit and like roll like he was a rotisserie into the ring and then just do the boom. But anyway, it was
I know. It was a very sad boom.
It was a very sad boom. Like his finger got caught in his depressed beard. It was very it was not. Yeah. Oh, it's great. Yeah. I should say correct. Not his wife. Not his wife. Yeah. I don't even think they're engaged. But yeah, let's
still have a chance.
He's booking a flight to Pittsburgh right now, man.
Right now, yeah. Take her a Pittsburgh jersey. She'll marry you. So
Jay White is basically chopping at the bits for basically. He even lied down. He did the Kevin Nash. He lied down to make fun. He said you want to get a head start to Adam Cole. Doesn't happen, of course. Here comes MJF, the original devil. He comes over, and everybody's scumbag is here. He's limping. Between the two of them, they make one one abled wrestler. So you got MJF coming in. Obviously, MJF's leg injury is a work. I refuse to believe that's anything real, especially with the spots in this match. We all know Cole's injury is real. Anyway, he comes in. He sells it pretty well. I scoff a little bit at MJF's overacting. I feel like he overacts at sometimes. And I do believe he'll get better at that. But yeah, he kind of overdoes the physical parts. And it's kind of like more like Ric Flair-esque from the 80s, like the selling, you know? And that kind of selling doesn't really hit anymore, in my opinion, in today's wrestling.
I kind of don't know if he sold that well at all, because like
He didn't sell it
there were
well.
times where like he oversold it when it didn't need to be oversold, and there are times where he didn't sell it at all when clearly it needed to be sold. It was like completely off. I feel like tonight, and I rarely say this about MJF because I actually like MJF.
Yeah.
I really like his character work. I like him as a wrestler. I think for the most part his matches are great, but this particular match right here, this was him not going to the hospital in that ambulance.
Yeah.
It was him visiting WWE headquarters and exchanging spirits with Super Cena, coming back to the arena and channeling his inner Cena to be able to win this match.
There you go. I don't see injuries. Yeah.
I see burials. Because that's what this was.
Yeah.
Let's be real. That's what this was.
It was a Jay White burial.
Yeah.
This match did not make Jay White look good at all.
100%.
How do you have a hobbled guy who
Yeah.
can barely stand on one foot and has been through a match already tonight? Literally, like, and you hit him, mind you. You also hit him with,
The ring.
Well, he didn't hit him with
The ring.
He did at the end. He took the ring out of his
Yeah,
hand.
he did.
Oh,
Cole
he
gave
did.
him the ring.
But he hit him with the belt first, right?
No,
He took the belt
I
from
just
Adam.
saw the ring. Did you hear what the belt? I saw the ring.
Yeah, the ring. It was. Hold on, we have it here. So Adam
I
Cole.
know he did snatch the belt.
Adam
from
Cole was. Adam Cole tried to give the ring, to slide the ring to MJF, but then
Yeah, and then Jay White interfered and took the ring, and then I don't think he wasn't able to accomplish it though. I don't think he didn't connect with MJF.
Well, no, but he did take the belt. He took the belt from Adam Cole at one point.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to remember if he actually hit him with the belt. But either way,
Yeah,
like literally, the guy, you can clearly see that he could hardly perform in this match. If we're to go ahead and abide by all the wrestling kayfabe rules and so forth. And this was supposed to be the Jay White that comes from New Japan, has all this hype, and rightfully so. He's done great work and beat formidable opponents in
Yeah.
New Japan.
yeah.
Coming in here and literally losing to a hobbled man.
Well, here's what happened.
He got buried.
You think he got buried? I don't know if he got buried, but I see your point. I see where that comes from. What ended up happening is Jay White took the ring and he went to hit MJF, but MJF gave him the low blow, and that's how the match turned. And then he took the ring back, and that's when he connected. Yeah. What do you think, Jason? You think it buried Jay White?
I don't think AEW views Jay White as a champion that can hold the company to its highest degree. I think they view him as like a talent that they can utilize heavily, and Jay White was never winning the belt, so that they let him have the Bullet Club Gold angle, which is cool. They probably give him a good contract, but that's where it stops. They're not taking that belt off MJF anytime soon. But the match did what it was supposed to do. It had a little bit of that attitude era, gimmicky kind of stuff with the ambulance coming. He pulls up, he's hobbled, but it it connected the dots with the angle they were trying to achieve. So that,
Yeah.
it closed up the
Also,
pay-per-view. I was expecting something with the devil, but nothing happened. So.
I know that was to me interesting. Yeah. Also very illegal. He drove the ambulance back from the hospital. He's probably
By the
not-
way,
yeah.
I did read
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
He did smack him with the belt.
Okay, he did.
He
smack
did
him.
smack him with the ROH tag belt. He grabbed it from
Oh, right.
Adam Cole and hit
Yeah.
him with it.
That was before that.
And it's
Yeah.
also what he did to the.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he got hit with that and the whole ring thing. We
Yeah.
won't find out how bad Jay White got buried, if so, until later on, because it's going to depend on his booking. Like, if he continues to be a top star in the company, or at least a high mid card guy, then we'll say okay. But if they literally go nowhere with this Bullet Club Gold angle from here, then you'll know that it was just a stepping stone. That being said, again, like you said, the match did what it was supposed to do. Other than the selling, it was still entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
I can't take away from that. Both competitors did their thing, and I still liked watching it.
Yeah.
I think to your point, I think the way they can save his push, Jay White's push, and not making him look buried, is if that he's in that tournament that ends up taking Kingston's titles. I think that could be where they might go with that, and then it could save him from being buried.
Yeah, because we knew he was never going to win this match, just as you said, because
Especially because it's 365 days as of today that MJF is now champion.
not only that, they still have lingering plot threads. We still have Samoa Joe, which he's agreed to
Right.
give a shot to.
Right.
We still have the devil angle that's lingering overhead.
Wardlow too, yeah.
Wardlow.
He wasn't at the pay-per-view. I didn't see any signs of Wardlow either.
And, that subplot with Roddy Strong that he's doing with Adam Cole somewhere interjecting in there. There's still a lot of things to tie up before the end of the year and the bidding war of 2024.
Yeah.
So I did not think he was going to lose to Jay White. I just thought that, maybe it could have been done in a way where it would have made Jay White look at least a little stronger. Because how long was that match?
The match itself, time-wise, well, it was a 60-minute estimating probably I want to say about 25 to 30 minutes.
So you mean for 30 minutes you couldn't take out a hobble man, or at least he couldn't trick you somewhere within those 30 minutes with a guy with a crutches on ringside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And a kangaroo kick.
And the kangaroo kick. Yeah. So, we shall see. MJF 1 full year as champion. He did a little promo without a mic from the ramp. I'm the best champion in the best company or something along those lines, as he was sitting there on the top of the ramp.
He was crying in the scrum a little bit. I don't know if you saw, but he's love AEW.
Yeah.
You're going over the top, man. All right, enough. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't get behind the MJF face thing. And they're trying to push him. There's definitely going to be something. That it's all going to culminate. Like, I think we'll revert back to the MJF, the Adam Cole thing. I think there's going to be a match again between Adam Cole and MJF at some point too. So we'll see what happens.
We shall see what happens. So leave us a comment here. If you watched the pay-per-view Full Gear, let us know what your thoughts were. Which match took it for you? Which match was the best one you saw? I kind of feel like most of the crowd is gonna agree with us on the best match on this card. I'm not influencing your decision. Let us know what you think. Amazing. We got to do this again. By the way, we got to have you back on our show frequently. I want you to be a frequent guest. By the way, Jason was on my Fumble Podcast, episode 104, season 5. If you haven't subscribed to that, you should. Don't be a jabroni. Go watch that episode. He does some amazing impressions on that episode as well. Check him out on Jimmy Kimmel. Any final thoughts on this pay-per-view and where you think AEW is headed now into their next chapter?
I think AEW it has all the opportunity in the world to do great things as a company. They just got to get their stuff together, tighten up a little bit, and they need to get Pej on commentary in AEW, and I think that's going to be the real success in the future. You know what I mean? Get this man a contract, all right? So.
Yeah, come on, Tony Khan. We're like 2 countries apart. Help me out. No, that's kind of you. If I come, I'm bringing Shiki with me.
Yeah, well, if we were going in, then we're going to replace Nigel McGuinness because Nigel McGuinness.
You don't like Nigel?
I'm not a fan of Nigel. No,
I'm not a fan of Nigel.
You don't like his rants. You don't like his off top. I think they even get confused by some of the stuff he says last night. He was like, I don't even know what he was saying half the time, but he's still entertaining.
Yeah, he left Taz perplexed. I feel like at one point.
He overdoes it. Like,
when Tony Storm came in, he started making old school references. Taz gave him credit, like for like 2 of them. And then he just kept going over and over and over. He's okay, you're beating a dead horse now, Nigel. Like, you got your props. Just kick back and comment on the match.
All right. Okay. I didn't know there's a Nigel beef we were dealing with. Okay, cool.
I like my McGuinness in a stout form inside a pint or in a can. I don't like him on commentary.
All right.
We booked that match, Fred versus Nigel McGuinness. And,
there you go.
I'll put up the camel clutch.
Yeah. Okay. Then this is the. It only makes sense if we end this episode
with a roast of Nigel McGuinness by Vince McMahon and the Iron Sheik. so you already let him go from your company, Vince. Why did you let Nigel go? Give us a reason behind your decision.
Well, I let Nigel McGuinness go originally because, frankly, he didn't kick my ass enough. So I said to him, "You're my father."
All right, Vince. We know how you feel. Sheik.
I guess you're punk piece of shit. Can you no respect my boss, Kennedy McMahon, and no kiss his ass? I'll suplex you, put you in a camel clutch, break your back, fuck your ass, and then I'll make you to be humble. On country way, can you respect Mr. McMahon and Orange Sheik?
Woo! And just like that, we have done it. This is the Full Gear episode 5 of the Legend of Wrestling podcast. Our amazing guest and good friend Jason Schuster.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Jason.
Yeah, man, we appreciate
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out Jason on the Jimmy Kimmel Show coming up December 10th. You don't want to miss it. And follow him, Jason Schuster. What's your Instagram? Go ahead and plug that.
Yeah, check me out at JSchu Comedy. That's JSCHU Comedy. That's across the board. That's on Instagram, TikTok.
There you go. The Legend of Wrestling podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Weapon XMC on Instagram as well. Is that the same on TikTok?
Yes.
It is. Pej the Maniac on all of the same things and LinkedIn. So you can follow me there too. Thank you so much. This has been episode 5. Jason, we'll see you on the next one.
You're the man! Fuck your ass! I'm the master! Break your back! Shoot him, boys!